Happy Tears Day. Today I want to talk about Fehu and Jera. So last week I chose to work with the runes Fehu and Jera, and as has been my practice on Tears Day, I tend to try and want to reflect on that. And I'm having finished sort of reading this fantastic book that was a birthday present. There's some aspects in there that have been on my mind as well, which all really combine to make you, or to make me, I should say. This is my runic journey, and I'm hoping that through processing my journey and presenting it to you, that it can in some way help you or inspire you by either doing the right things or the wrong things. Firstly, I think the big thing is Fehu represents cattle, represents wealth. And what is wealth? Now, obviously, if we sort of go back to the time that Elder Futhark was in use, wealth was measured considerably different to our modern day. And it's one of those things I've been thinking about, because if you look at social media, look at society, most people are caught in the web of looking outwardly, enviously at people for what other people have and not for what you yourself possess. And I think this trips us up a lot because we're worried so much about what X, Y, and Z person have or are doing and social validation that we miss the point of our own value. I mean, it's really sort of quality over quantity. We can easily get sucked into, I want as many followers as possible, or I want as many friends, online friends as possible. And it comes back to sort of, how well do you know these people? How well are you connecting to these people? Or are they just sort of digital echoes of people that you might have met once or haven't met at all? Obviously, today's society, I think we're still learning to accept its accelerated pace, and perhaps we are starting to see the downsides of it with the rise in sort of mental health issues or anxieties. And it's interesting that the best cleanser for that is quite simple, and it's to put your technology down. Ironically, if you're watching this video, that's not what you're doing, but it's that sort of, you can almost cleanse yourself by being outside, not being stuck in that rut. That's where true wealth, I feel, can be found, by sort of the joys and the quality of time you're spending with yourself, for yourself, and with the people that matter in your life. It also, I feel it's having read the book, and it's got a lot of great ideas in there, and it's drawn me back to some things that I've sort of been working with, but not really looking at them in Norse pagan terms, shall we say, like the seven souls. I've tried to avoid in this Path of Power series, volume 1 and this volume, of going with hard terms, mainly because I truly believe that we all have these access points to power. It's just how we do it and what foci we use to reach it. And that can be sort of any sort of label you want it to be, whether it's New Age or Christian or whatever works for you is what works for you. And I'm not going to be the person that judges you if you like, I don't know, you want to sort of focus on Christianity and angels and miracles. If that works for you, then that is great. I've had a few conversations probably in the last year where the insightful people are the ones that sort of go, well, look, it can be labelled as this, or it can be labelled as that. It's the undercurrent. These things can have different names, different labels, but the undercurrent is the same. It's a awareness that you've got to be willing to let yourself access. That really is a great wealth. And I think sort of as you can access these things, then something like your luck, your humming jar, if you like, you can increase that. And while I'm probably focusing more on Fehu, in terms of Jera, harvest of it, it's that sort of, I would say sort of probably since my birthday or just before, I've been in a little bit of a, I don't want to say a slump, just that sort of a little bit drained perhaps, or a little low ebb. And I feel like this week in particular, I've had some opportunities to sort of, I don't know, refocus, or I've had some things that have just sort of given me the opportunity to remind me of who I am and that things are there, and it's perked me up. This is me perked up. It's, I don't know. It's being open and being willing to sort of work at it, and I don't know, take some time to recharge or look after yourself. We can even use tech terms. I mean, that's sort of, you don't want to keep your phone operating on 3% or 5%. You sort of want it to be 75% plus. And it's too many of us are pushing our boundaries in the wrong ways. and then trying to maintain operating at that sort of level is too hard work. It's too much hard work for yourself, for your health, for your well-being, for your mental attitude. And I don't think you necessarily need complex answers. It is a complex age we're living in, but I think the solutions remain simple. We just are too easily distracted from them. And I hope that you can find your way to those simpler answers. It doesn't have to be complicated. So I feel, having gone through a little bit of a moment or a period of self-doubt, that I've had enough prompts to sort of go, well, I'm worrying about nothing. And I've had to tap into Fehu and Jera to maybe help me with that. And for that I'm grateful. And I find really that I must conclude that the runes can help, and you have to help them. It's a working relationship, and I would say it is working okay. I don't have much else to say. There's still other things to be resolved, but they'll get resolved one way or another. And it's sort of whether how much that will affect me or not is something for me to work out. We'll see what happens. But for now, Fehu and Jera, thank you. If you've watched this video, thank you. Do take care. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.